Yeah, what it do, y'all? Here he.
Heavy. How y'all doing?
Ready for them. And y'all gotta pay attention to this one.
Absolutely. Hey, yo, what it look like, man? Um, my name, it's not important. But what's more important is that we tried to tell y'all last season that 2021 was the year of the release. Letting go of emotional restraints and factors that have harnessed your productivity to accomplish things you were set out to do. So now that we have acknowledged the errors, this is where we move forward in faith and in truth, asserting ourselves with the confidence and realization of our unique gifts and forging ourselves into this untapped potential, thus attaining the season of our prime. Now you got to understand this if you don't understand anything else, that this right here is your moment. So you got to make it mean something. And yes, I truly believe that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Yes,
Because
sir.
as you can see, we're truly beyond that right now. So I'm going to shut up.
Get it.
We're going to double up to this season. TKC2, baby. Welcome.
You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the count. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council. Hold up, you now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the. You now in tune, now in tune to the council.
What it do,
Yeah.
though?
What it do? What it do?
Council people.
How y'all doing?
You know what I mean? We here for y'all. Back at it again. What it do, bro?
What it do, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I can't complain. Blessed.
Shoot.
Highly favored as usual. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Playing if I had the time. It's your boy Deuce and Deuce. Back with
Man, that's right, man. It's your boy Boulevard P. I am the problem, man.
Yes, sir. We here again. This episode 4.
Dang, episode 4, yeah. Fourth one.
All right. On the second season, you did
Quattro. Yes, sir.
Prime. You did. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we hope that y'all enjoyed the last one we was talking about, you know what I'm saying, economy and inflation and with the dibble and dabbling. So make sure y'all go check that one out if you didn't catch on up, you know what I'm saying, at thekingscouncil.com. You heard? That's right, we got our own website, our own platform where you can catch everything from the inauguration special up to right now. You heard? At thekingscouncil.com. That's right. And you can follow us online on, you know what I'm saying, the YouTube, the Young Kings Council, Facebook, the Kings Council, and you know what I'm saying, Instagram, the Young Kings Council, Twitter at Council Kings. You heard? But
Mm-hmm.
really, I want you to get tapped in to thekingscouncil.com. So please subscribe, like, get on there. You know what I'm saying? Check out exclusive things that you cannot get on the YouTube page, that you cannot get on the Facebook, that you cannot get on the Instagram or the Twitter. You
And
need
why don't you tell them what they're going to see on there?
to see, you know, exclusive little segments that we have for you on there, like Dummies and Does, and
Mm-hmm.
Boulevard Scope, and Perceptions and Perspectives, right? That's coming too. So,
Coming real soon.
yay. You know what I'm saying? Please tune in, link up, get down and grizzly with your boys at thekingscouncil.com. You did. Cause on this one, it's gonna be a critical one, we believe here at the King's Council. You did this episode. Let others be glad and love the feedback we've been getting from the last episode. You know what I mean? So
Thank y'all so much.
much love y'all. You know what I mean? And we got so many businesses that's ready to connect and link up with us. You know what I mean? So we gotta definitely shout out those like your Nexus Jet Setter and you know what I'm saying, all these artists, you know what I'm saying, that's still trying to link up with us. So definitely, man, we appreciate everybody from the front to back, to side, fooling with us, listening, tuning in. it's definitely, you know what I'm saying, something that's becoming a part of everyday culture for us. And we really look forward to these type of meetings and episodes with everybody because it's what we do. It's what we here for, man, to get back to y'all. So
Sure it is.
yeah, man, let them know what we looking on the agenda. You know what I'm saying? What we trying to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We in and out as usual. So we
On
gonna keep that train moving.
yes, sir. On this agenda, man, we talking about spirituality, people. You know,
Piggyback from season one.
yes, definitely piggybacking from season one, real quick, man. It's something necessary, especially with all the things that's going on in the world right now, man. We need to, keep our eyes open and be truly aware of our surroundings and what's going on with us and what we allow into our spirit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna break that down to the best of our ability. And before we get started,
Yeah.
I need to make this one thing understood and clear. We not acting like we the Mr. Know-it-alls. We not so, Mr. Holy or anything of that sort, because y'all should already know.
Stay holy and endowed in no way, shape, or form.
Not at all. All we doing is speaking on the things that we know and trying to give y'all the best of what we can give, because we all have a purpose and we all have a higher calling in this.
You heard?
So identify.
Yeah.
And act accordingly.
Yeah. Definitely we already identified more or less that we acknowledge all of these things out there in that spiritual realm. You know what I mean? So if you didn't, you know what I'm saying, catch up and see that last season when we talking about open up your third eye, definitely do that. And then you will see the lens that we about to go closer into on this one when it comes to the more or less warfare and spiritual. And like that's where it's at right now. That's where we've been at for a while. You know what I mean? It's everything more or less out here that has a spiritual connotation, even though we don't want to believe it or accept it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not real. So all we trying to say is y'all pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Listen, take something, get a message that you probably, you know what I'm saying, didn't get before somewhere else. And you know what I'm saying, help somebody else along the way. That's all we trying to do. That's all we trying to spread. So first thing first though, we gotta, learn the spiritual defenses and what they are and what that comes from and you know what I'm saying, all of those things and who you should be around and all that. But next thing we're going into is the questioning method. And some may say they don't like when they have to decipher which way to go, but you know, you got to figure it out. You have to figure it out for yourself. And that's what I want to talk about. So also too, we going to talk about that power that we have when it comes to knowing things and things unveiling to you. So
Understanding with them.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's gonna be fun to mess with, man. You know what I mean. So all right, you want to start it off? Yeah, take them away on something, man, if you want to. You know what I mean? And
All right, sir. So
on it.
your spiritual defenses. I feel like with everything that you do, you gotta understand that there's cause and effect, and there's always action and reaction, and then there's always consequences. And to be aware of those things, man, it's like I say it all the time, and I feel like a broken record saying it, but that spiritual discernment is very, very, very necessary in a sense, man.
Nah, for sure. Always. It's one of those things that you always want to have, but a lot of people, don't always know about that. Don't even know how to go about that. we're gonna get more into how to do that possibly, in other episodes. But just to give them the surface of it, the first thing like we said, you gotta learn your spiritual defenses, and um, that comes with your history of cause and effect, like you said. You know what I mean? Learning what's been given to your family, your tribe, you know what I'm saying, your culture that you are so accustomed to or grown up into. Um, it's understanding what everything means in that, and how things correlate. Because everybody got whatever to correlate to something spiritually
Right.
somewhere in all parts of the world. So it's not to just pinpoint any one religion, any one faith, any one practice. Nah, it's all around here. And like we said, we acknowledge all here at the King's Council, because we know that all these things do work hand in hand spiritually, whether good or bad. So that's one thing you got to understand, your history and all of that, going through. But also too, I think it comes when you trying to find that, it's sharpening your iron, right? Understanding
Yeah.
that you have people that you're around to help you get to those things correctly.
Correct.
Because a lot of people, they don't really have, especially in these generations and younger generations coming. We don't really have too many powerful spiritual leaders. I ain't talking about role models. I ain't talking about celebrities that, um, you know, feeling something and all that. No, I'm talking about real life
Real life leaders.
leaders. Yeah. Um, you know what I mean? Probably from most of our parents and grandparents' generation, we seen and heard a lot of the ministers and black Muslims and teachings of other faiths and practices from back in the day, that seemed extreme at that time, but
Mm-hmm.
they were really implemented in their community and really, you know what I'm saying, stronghold in their beliefs, and that's
Mm-hmm.
carried them throughout more or less the nation, and their philosophies and things throughout the world. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta understand who you dealing with, what you dealing with, when it comes to sharpening your iron,
Right.
because that'll help you also too eventually along the lines identify your enemy. Because those who ain't helping you out sharpening your iron aren't necessarily enemy, but they ain't always necessarily for your favor.
No, they're not. Everything that glitters surely isn't gold, and everybody that smiles on your face surely is not your friend.
That's heavy, especially now. Um,
Absolutely.
what I mean? Of course, in all tales, in any religious text or faith text that we know, there's always some type of you know, enemy or antagonist that just always seems to be the start or root of the evil, right? Um,
Chaos.
yeah, every, like I said, faith, practice, religion, spiritually wise, they have their names and connotations for them. But wherever you at in your walk of life, you know what I'm saying, your journey spiritually, should you getting to know your enemy, that should be your main thing as well. Because they studying you, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And while you're leveling up, while you're increasing, while you're providing life and doing things, on good vibes or auras or whatever you want to call yourself having it, you know what I mean? They understand who you are, and they're always attacking you, whether you want to be attacked or not. So why not identify them so that way you can learn how to defend yourself better, more efficiently, and that corresponds to a lot of things physically that we do, um, trying to avoid having to fight them or having to defend them or having to defend them too much. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we're not supposed to for certain reasons, but we get into that later on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main thing. Definitely, we want y'all to think about here at the King's Council, learning your spiritual defenses in the spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? Now I know L, you was talking about this next subject matter for us in this was one that you dwelled on, because I remember us talking and briefing for this one. You were saying, you had thoughts on this one heavy about is it wrong to question what's out there in
Yeah.
especially going
And
or dealing with mental things, you know what I mean?
it needs to be understood that when it comes to your mind is very, very powerful. And the things that correlate in your mind, that those thoughts, and you could be good thoughts, bad thoughts, intrusive thoughts, man, but they're thoughts. And you got to understand that sometimes with these thoughts and the things or the information that you're given, your mind's going to allow you to like probably look beyond just that common surface stuff. Like we can go from random questions like people think of all the time, in the sense of like, how was the pyramids created? Did aliens bring them or something, something off the wall like that. Like people get mad when you challenge a theory or a thesis because it doesn't correlate with the narrative of what they're trying to bring out or put out. And you got to understand that in that is nothing wrong with asking. There's never nothing wrong with asking, because if you have the willingness to want to learn and take in information and learn more and expand your mind, like that's what makes you better as a person. And it doesn't matter what faith you are, doesn't matter where you stand in life or whatever like that. The idea, the concept of knowledge, like how can it be bad?
It's never bad. Wisdom is a great thing.
Thank you.
And you have to be, willing to seek it for yourself more than anything or anybody else.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you truly want to get into that enlightenment state or that peaceful state of spirituality, on all levels, if you know or read or understand, you know what I mean? And definitely y'all do your homework on that, because the best thing about seeking it for yourself is once you do that, then you really don't have to question as much anymore.
Exactly. That's definitely what's most important in that sense. But it's like, even when it comes to down with people that like start feeling a certain way because you question, this needs to be understood that not everyone is going to want to understand the truth. Period. Not everybody's going to want to understand that. And then with not wanting to understand it, not everybody's going to be willing to accept the truth. So you got to understand like who you are as a person and where you're going to stand in life. Are you going to be foolish like the foolish fools out there? Or you want to do the best that you can to be the best person that you can be and move forward in your faith and in your truth? And make that applicable with everything else that you do in your life.
Yeah,
Just my thoughts.
right. You're not doing that day in, day out, then you allowing the negative and the evil and the whatever you want to put the name of the enemy in the world spiritually to feed you whatever you want to believe. Not necessarily what's true, but what you want to believe. So now you have to question if you know the enemy or if you don't.
Right.
Now it's tying back into that first thing you were saying about that spirit of discernment. That's what'll give you that spirit of discernment, because now you know that what is true and what is not true. So like I said, you wouldn't even have to question if that's the enemy or not.
Right.
You wouldn't sit along with that to question loyalty from people. And you wouldn't be sitting in situations that you think you have to endure off of faith or what was taught to you to think that was faith.
Right.
Right. So definitely keep that in mind, people, because that's something that is crippling us spiritually more and more from each generation to the next.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the term and you know what I'm saying, indignation of generational curses comes from, because this is something that is not questioned or not brought to the forefront in families and in schools and in church settings or mosque settings or synagogue settings, or you know what I mean, any type of other, you know, practice and place of worship that you could think of. It's not coming into question about certain things because people are more or less stagnant. And if you are stagnant, then you are unbalanced. You're imbalanced. You don't need to be imbalanced in trying to seek further knowledge, further understanding.
Not at all.
To be free flowing, it should be like water. It's going to give you push and pull. It's going to give you something where you might not be able to learn all of that or grasp that at that time. But
Right.
doing it and chipping it away every day, you know what I'm saying, every other day, or in a healthy routine for you,
Right.
how you get it to come along in the physical the same way with everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what helps unlock the third eye more and more and more, like we was talking about in the first season. And this will give us to our next point. Go ahead, let them, you know, fill them on that one.
Understanding the power within. And understanding the power within, you got to understand that there's always life and death in the power of the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my pet peeves is like when people be saying like, you know, oh, I'm dead, or, you know, something along the lines of something that's crazy. And it's like, why would you bring that upon yourself?
Well, we know that's a cultural thing in certain places.
Yeah.
But you know, there's certain phrases and certain things that we use so much in regular conversation,
Right.
and we really don't pay attention to that. That's
How powerful.
yeah, how powerful that. And that's the reason why a lot of things don't go in our favor with certain places, because we already spoke about it. So either negatively,
Negatively, yes.
not in a you know, positive momentous way. So now you have like I said, a stagnant situation where you feeling uncomfortable because or an awkward situation. And most times where I've heard with people, right? You know, how should I go there because this person doesn't like me, or I know this person was talking about me, or I know these things were going on. But now you giving
It's
you giving your enemy ammo to use against you. You use
right.
some type of negative spirit or influence or entity or whatever you want to call, you know, the vibe. You giving that so much now energy negatively to it, or nowhere positive in any way, shape, or form. So whether it's neutral, it's still not positive. You know
No.
what I'm saying? And now it's giving you a situation that you don't want to be in. You know what I mean? That you don't like being in, that you don't enjoy. And only one to fall to blame is you,
Right.
because you don't understand the power that you have talking, speaking over things. You know, some Christians say the dead dry bones, and other, you know, faiths know and practice that there's a spiritual connotation to everything that you say and do.
Right.
Especially, you know, when you also understand too, you know, that your body is it's a temple, but it's also a portal. Being that
Yes.
it is a gateway, it is a doorway, you know, for spiritual things to come through you, good and bad.
Right. And in that regard, you got to know your energy. You got to understand that energy that you possess and that you have about yourself, because it's like what we were saying earlier. You know, you go out the house every day. Yeah. You're stepping into territories that can smell and that can see that energy, and that's willing to do anything to attack that energy.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to prepare yourself?
A lot of people, you know, a lot of people don't care. They, you know, go out there with their chest out, and lose and all of that. But you know, that's the spirit that's on you that gives you that.
Right.
And there's a reason why you move that way, because you believe in yourself in a certain way. Of course, we know that.
Yeah.
But also too, understanding that even in that there are consequences for being that way. And there's also going to be those energies that counter what you are and what you feel. That's where you got to be in tune with that. That's where you have to focus in at. You have to have check in with yourself, whether it's what you put into your body, um, you know, whether it's food, water, or other type of drinks. You know what I mean? You got to pay attention to
Your surroundings, who you allow around your spirit.
yeah, and who's speaking good or bad for you or with you. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Um, you got to start paying attention to those who also come to you only for certain times in their life. You know what I mean? And how they express when things happen to them. Because, you trying to deal with too much what they're going on, and they can't even deal with what they're going on as well.
right.
Things start to leak and spill.
Mm-hmm.
And now certain spirits and certain things have now been
Like,
passed on to you or
yeah.
now that seed starts to grow there. Now next you mad because they mad and you don't even know why you mad. Or or you depressed and they've been telling you so many depressing things, and you trying to be there as a friend to console them, but now
You're taking on all that energy that's unnecessary and that's unneeded for yourself. So sometimes it's okay to say no. Sometimes it's okay to back the heck up
yeah,
and like understand, you know what I'm saying? You got to protect your own. And some people are not going to see that. Some people are not going to grasp that concept. And, if they can't grasp that concept, then they don't really need to be in your life.
facts. That's exactly the number one thing. So
Yeah, man.
when you get the understanding the power within you, you gotta also be prepared that certain things, may seem a little bit harder for you as you try to
Right.
grow up more. Not a maturity level physically, not mentally, but literally spiritually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's things that you start to see now that you just really don't want to be around, and that's all right. That's good. You know what I'm saying? Keep on trucking, keep on striving for that higher power that you looking for. It ain't to fill no void or anything. It's to make sure that you straight on all levels. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? It's gonna fill that void once you realize that you there with it. You know what I mean? Because that's the main goal really in this life, period, is to get to that, nirvana, heaven, whatever word you want to call it, state. You know what I'm saying? Feel the reeds, all of that type of feel. Like that's the notion of all of these things at the end, no matter what, is that you trying to get to that divine spot. You know what I mean? Where it's not about whether everything's going good or bad. It's about what necessarily will try and make you feel like that it's not all good or not bad. You know what I mean? And once you understand that, can nothing stop you in whatever you decide to put on the forefront to go obtain. So now your power is lined up. Your assignment is aligned up. Your spirit is aligned up. And you can go ahead and go wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do. And can nothing, no harm, hurt come at you. You know what I'm saying? No stressful situation, none of that. It's different when you understand how to be prepared or want to be prepared. Um, you know what I'm saying? So that way you leveling up in everything that you do. Because the more challenging things that come at us is just understanding that that's because you on your purpose, you on your right path. So yeah, I mean, might as well take them in a little common sense real quick.
Break it down for him, bro.
It's
Okay.
on this one, it's really
Hey,
understanding that
those in the right intention.
spiritually we are coming
Everybody's
into
opinion.
more or less the most chaotic times of our lives from whatever generation that you're from. Things are repeating themselves in history. Um, things are unraveling themselves from history over time. Things are now being more comfortable in a time of knowing as far as what is what and who's who. So today we just putting out this APB, this call to action of make sure you find out for yourself. Um, Not where you fit in, not where you fit in to get in. You know what I'm saying? But where it's true and everything knows that it's true for you. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you make sure that the truth is all that you see and the truth is all that you strive for, and make sure you pass it on correctly. Make sure you teaching it to the next generation correctly. Make sure you giving, the next generation life, because they deserve it. There's a deeper thing going on with the kids, man, that I've seen in a long time. And as a parent, it don't scare me, but my heart hurts for those who have lost their children this year, but let alone over the, years past. Because good Lord, I can't, there's no way, shape, or form that I can even try and help them rationalize any feeling after that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if you got kids, man, you got loved ones that's still here, cherish them, but make sure you also helping them along the way. Make sure you really, it's more than just money, man. It's more than just finances. It's more than just making sure everybody eating. It's more than that. After you do that, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what you're meant to do, um, as well. But also too, when you want to be on that high call and you want to really, you know what I'm saying, make sure it lasts, so that in any way, shape, or form, if you get taken off this earth, that they're gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta make sure you speak life and breed that correctly for these kids, man, for this next generation, because they definitely deserve. They have to. If we
Mm-hmm.
survive as humans, if we're gonna survive as your family, your tribe, you know what I mean, your clan, whatever you want to put the name on, your gang, um, you gotta make sure that everybody is doing right, really right. You know what I'm saying? Because playing around with evil out here is getting everything snatched away from y'all.
Right.
All of us, really. It ain't just y'all, but it more is those who just strictly on evil time. So definitely, man, don't take it out on the kids, man. Let the kids live. Let the,
Right.
for real, they need it, especially as they getting older. They really need it. You know what I mean? We gotta show them that it ain't just a bad way out every time. We gotta show them it ain't just a dark world all the time. So let's do that. Let's shine some light to these kids, man. Let's do something for them. Let's come together for them.
We
You know
need
what
to
I mean?
start a business.
And
Reform
all
this
our walks of life.
bitch. Shisha out
Let's
here
do that
feeling.
right for
My
them.
5 out here
Because
geeking.
if not,
Brothers is
somebody
getting
going to snatch
popped,
them
making
and
the
do
news
wrong.
every minute. While men
You
is
don't
out
want
here
that.
switching.
You ain't
And
got the
women
common
out
sense
here
to want to do
pimping.
that. Come
Not
on, man.
hoes,
You
cause
gotta have the common
nowadays
sense to
pussy
not want to
can't
do that.
make a living. Skyrocket school tuition. Kids' bodies coming up missing.
I know you gonna talk about. You gonna hit them with some philosophies, and
Oh yeah. All right, so hopefully y'all taking something in, y'all learning a little something, man. Cause all we're doing is trying to do this to, wisen everybody the heck up. All right, so philosophy, let's load it up real quick.
It's Philosophy 101 with Illy Baby.
For this particular philosophy, I want to go to a place where this entire episode we've been talking about energy. We've been talking about being observant. We've been talking about protecting and doing what's right for your soul. for your inner being. But now once we get into that inner being, you got to also understand that there's a responsibility to that. And with that responsibility, that equates you to looking and finding your purpose or your calling. And so my question is, have you been able to identify what your calling is? Have you been able to identify what is it necessary in order for you to protect and do the things that you need to do in order for you to make a difference out into the world? Because we're all here, but we're not all supposed to just be sitting here twiddling our thumbs and just picking out, just playing around. We all have a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Fortunate for us, we found our niche. We found something. And because of what y'all have done, how y'all responded to us, obviously we must know what the heck we on with that one. Giving glory to God for that. You know what I'm saying? To have the wisdom and have the discernment to understand the things that were pieced together in order for us to open our eyes and recognize. So what is it going to take for you to see what's needed for you? To see what's needed for you to even help and influence your people? Because even while you're trying to figure out your stuff, remember, you're blessed to be around others. You're blessed to be around those that you consider your gang, your clique, your family, your peoples. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. They got a light too. You wanna help shine theirs? You wanna help illuminate theirs? What are you gonna do to make what the heck y'all got going on effervescent? Something for you to think about. I'm not gonna get too preachy, but regardless of wherever you stand, regardless what religion, what faith, what you believe, know that you all have a calling and a purpose. And even when you're down and out, there's plenty of times when I've had conversations with certain people, even women in particular. And they're always telling me, and these are mothers, by the way, and in particular, they be going through some of the worst storms, some of the worst storms that a lot of people can't really deal with. And somehow, some way, they end up being blessed to have a child. And I always make sure that I tell them, I said, do you really understand why you had a child at this particular moment? Because that was God's way of saying he's not done with you. You got a purpose. And here's another reason for you to keep going and keep pushing. There's always going to be storms. There's always going to be a hurdle. There's always going to be something where you're going to have to take a stand in adversity. Well, my friend hit me up today and was telling me about her job being so rough. She can't take it. She's like, I don't know what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking to God. I've been praying to God about it. But she's like, I also understand that God did tell me, stick to the plan. Anytime that you're doing something that's with purpose, the enemy's not going to like that. The enemy doesn't want to see you progress. So, he going to throw a hurdle. We going to throw something to trip you up. But are you going to stay tripped up? Or you going to keep going? Know your purpose. Know your value. Know the destination of where you're trying to go. Succeed and achieve. Move accordingly. That's my philosophy. Promise.
It's Philosophy 101 with Illy Baby.
Yeah, man. That's all right.
Yes, sir.
Good. Yay.
Flex.
But yeah.
That felt good.
And to the next one, man. Look, y'all gotta tune in and catch up more at thekingscouncil.com. Real live.
That's right.
And tune in, man, online at thekingscouncil.com. Kings with a Z. You heard it. You see it. We know it. Get tuned in, man. Follow us at, you know what I'm saying, the Kings Council on Facebook, Young Kings Council Instagram. Like, subscribe on the YouTube, the Young Kings Council, and follow us on Twitter at Council Kings. You heard? So, but we really want you to get in to the kingscouncil.com, y'all. Yeah, I mean, we got so much going on, and thanking everybody who's been a part of us for real. You know what I'm saying? So, to the next one, dog. To the next one for real. This was a good one.
This was a good one. I like that.
Out on this one, man. Your boy Deuce said Deuce.
It's your boy Boulevard P, man. We are the council, man. Thank you very much. You be blessed.
For real.
Peace. And we out.
Yo.